My name is John Noll, and I'm 38 years old, and I'm from the state of Wisconsin in the United States. In my normal life, I work for a healthcare software company. I have a wonderful wife, Kendra, and my two children, Carson and Kinley. Early in the morning or late at night, I live my second life of ultramarathon running. I ran track and cross country throughout high school. In college, I was a member of the Michigan State Triathlon Club. Although I enjoyed triathlons, I was always just a runner at heart. In 2008, I decided to venture into the world of ultramarathons. And I ran my first trail 50K and a 50-mile road race. They were definitely both learning experiences. Didn't go very smooth, but I was hooked. By 2011, I finished my first 100-miler. I had some successes, but around 2016 is when I really started to get consistent results with focusing on my training, consistent training and nutrition. In early 2020, I got my 100-mile PR of 13:52 and wanted to try something new. So I signed up for a local backyard scheduled for April 2020. As you may expect, that race in April 2020 was canceled for COVID, but lucky for me, the Quarantine Backyard Ultra was held the same weekend, so I signed up. Although I ran almost exclusively on my treadmill, I got my first experience in the backyard format. All was going well until after lap 38 when I failed to wake up to my alarm and missed the start of lap 39, which was 158 miles. My race was over, even though I was in pretty good shape still physically. In July 2020, my planned 48-hour race was canceled, and there were no local races to be found, so I entered in the second edition of the Quarantine Backyard. I was more prepared, have an experience from the first race, and more importantly, my wonderful wife stayed awake the last 15 minutes of every hour to babysit my napping time. I felt great the entire race and was the last man standing after 51 hours entirely on my treadmill. That's 212 and a half miles or 342 kilometers. After my first two virtual backyard experiences, I really wanted to have a shot at trying the format in person. After several postponements, I was able to run the Big Hill Blanc backyard in August 2021. And this year it was a golden ticket event to get entry into Big's Backyard Ultra a couple months later. There were a handful of good runners, so I just went in with a mindset to go as far as I was able to. And it was a heat index of 90 degrees Fahrenheit or higher most of the race, including at night. So it was really hot. I drank more water than I thought was possible per loop. I managed to heat pretty well, and largely due to the conditions was the last man standing after 38 hours. And the course was also pretty hilly and remains on trails during the night as well. With the win, I earned entry into Big's Backyard 2021. Big's 2021 was a whole nother level that I had not experienced before. Even though most of Europe couldn't make it due to travel restrictions, there was still a large group of very high-level runners. So once again, my goal was just to focus on my running and go as far as I was able to. I had the opportunity to meet and chat with runners I only knew from magazine articles, but stayed focused on my own race. This was also my first opportunity to run with an international field, which was a pretty awesome experience. On the third night, after 62 hours, I found myself feeling broken, in hindsight more mentally than physically, and for the first time in 4 backyard events, made a choice to end my race and turn back less than half a mile into the loop. I was the fourth to last person standing. Harvey, Chris, and Maury continued for almost another day. This was a new distance PR for me of 258 miles or around 415 kilometers. My race at Big's 2021 qualified for me to be part of Team USA in 2022 for the team championships. This was definitely my favorite backyard and race overall that I've ever ran. I previously run with about half the team before, and with a smaller field of only 15 runners, had plenty of time to get to know everyone. The team atmosphere was amazing, and we pushed each other past what our previously established limits. I had a rough year with injuries, but things came together well enough to push through that third night for the first time, before ultimately stopping due to sleep deprivation related issues. So I was third to last standing on the team after 74 hours, which is 308 miles or about 496 kilometers. This is the mark I have for qualifying for this year's race. I really enjoy the mental aspect of backyard races comparative to other ultra formats. Before backyard races, I had ran some timed events, particularly the 48-hour format. And I find the 48-hour format just brutal mentally. Trying to manage out an additional like 20 hours if you already feel rough after 28 hours is just much harder than the backyard format, where I only have to focus on 1 hour at a time, for me at least. I also like the social aspect and slower pacing of the backyard. I got to run side by side with other runners every single hour, since we all have to start together, and the slower pacing makes even eating and keeping down food a lot more enjoyable. So speaking of eating, I do train with a ketogenic diet leading into races. Only eating carbohydrate on my long runs of a marathon or longer. I do this to help train my body to burn fat efficiently and to trim down that to trim down to my race weight after letting my weight probably fluctuate a little bit more than I should between races. During the race, my staples usually cold ham and cheese sandwiches. I went through several loaves of bread last year during Bigs. I'll switch it up with pizza and egg burritos, especially when it gets colder. I also like to add in some sugars, so I'll eat Oreos, pumpkin spice being the variety in season this time of year, and other sugars such as peanut butter M&Ms and fruit snacks. Inevitably, every race I have slightly different tastes, so I keep lots of other options on hand. I would like to preemptively thank my wife Kendra for her support, not only of putting up with my training, but also being my all-star crew person. Even though this race will encompass her birthday this year, happy birthday, honey. I'd also like to thank my parents for watching our children for a week. I hope our children aren't making them regret that yet. I'd also like to thank Coach Travis at Personal Peak. I've learned a lot working with him this year and feel like I have a strong foundation to help push me through the late miles or kilometers. I'm really looking forward to this year, as I know the competition has risen so much. At 62 yards, where I was fourth to last 2 years ago, I'm expecting there could easily be 20 plus runners remaining this year. However, my goal remains always the same as always. Keep running until I'm not able to complete another loop, or I'm the last person that finishes the loop as a world champion.